This Max Live presentation is sponsored by Clip Keepas, the official keeper of the Red Sarachek tournament.
Center. My name is Andy Rosenberg, and I'm here with my color commentator and partner in crime, Yoni Shedlow. We're here for an exciting matchup, the Tier 3 semifinals between the Ida Crown Aces and the MTA Lions. Yoni, both these teams are coming off tough defeats. On the Ida Crown side of the court, they lost a tough overtime game to Berman. If you're the Aces, what do you need to do today to come out with a better result?
Well, they've had superb play from Colum. He's been excellent in this tournament so far. He's shooting over 50% from three. He's shooting 8 of 9 from free throw over the couple games they've played, which is unbelievable. They've had trouble getting the ball into Boker so far because of the defense. They need to get it inside to the post where he can be really effective. He's great agility and finesse inside. If they can both get going this game, they have an amazing chance to win.
And from the MTA side, they are certainly no stranger to the Sarachek tournament or this gym. They play their home games here. If you're MTA, what do you need to do to get to the Tier 3 finals?
Well, they just lost the close game in overtime, and they blew out their first opponent. So they have confidence. They know they can win a game. They have their core three of Warburg, Mizels, and Pfeiffer. Those three have carried the team, scoring almost 90% of the points in both of those games. They are going to rely heavily on them, and of course they're going to look to their supporting cast for additional help. If they can do that, then of course they also have a good chance to win.
You heard it here, ladies and gentlemen. We have an exciting matchup coming in just a few moments. Stay tuned.
In Yeshiva University, I've been lucky to be on both the volleyball and the basketball team. Being on the team has a huge effect on my academic life. The same way that I know I can push myself in athletics, I know I can push myself in academics. Going to shiurim at night instead of during the day, or going to them during the day when I've practiced at night, the Judaics is not compromised and the Jewish life is not compromised. We go to other schools and we're wearing our Yeshiva University Maccabees sweatshirt and we're playing for Yeshiva University. It feels amazing to know that we're representing this school. I can thrive academically, I can thrive in my Judaic life, and I can also be on the teams, and I can also be involved in the athletic life. You can do it all here at Yeshiva University.
Welcome back to the Max Stern Athletic Center. We're here for a Tier 3 semifinal matchup between the Ida Crown Aces and the MTA Lions. I spoke to both coaches before the game just to get the latest update and get the starting lineups for today. On the MTA side of the ball, they're going with their usual starting five. Gabe Isaacs, Chaim Weinstein, Hudi Weiss, Eitan Warburg, and Shlomo Mizels. And on the Ida Crown side of the ball, they're using most of their usual lineup with one difference there. They have Max Baker, Amitai Kolam, Shmuel Horowitz, Ryan Boker, and Jordan Benditson, who's been seeing a lot of minutes in this tournament.
Andy, you really did your research, huh?
I try to be thorough when I'm on air like this. You know, we have an exciting game here. We have a lot of fans at home, a lot of fans in the gym, you know. We're all here for a good time. These are two very popular squads their fan bases come to represent, and we should have a good one in just a few moments.
It's actually been noted that Ida Crown has always had an extremely well-attended game, and their fans are always going pretty crazy. And obviously, we're here at Yeshiva University, and MTA is the high school here, so you have it's popping in here.
And we are underway. Ida Crown winning the tip and looking to get going here early in the first quarter. They are coming off a tough defeat to the Katz Yeshiva team, losing by 11. So they're really looking to get up to a good start and get this offense rolling. Almost turning the ball over out of bounds right there, but maintaining possession, looking to get that first bucket of the game. Little sloppy to start, and MTA with the steal, pushing in the other direction.
a lot of these games start off sloppy just because of the excitement behind it. They have played games, both of them, but the excitement still stays. And it's Sunday, and your family and your friends are here. So it's exciting, and you generally see those jitters, thaw out pretty quickly.
And this is a big one for them. If they win this, they clinch their spot into the Tier 3 final happening tomorrow. All the final games are going to be on Monday here at the Max Stern Athletic Center. And we have the first bucket of the game from MTA. That was number 22, Hootie Weiss, with a three-pointer. We have a 3-0 lead just about over 1 minute in.
And you can see the way that professional basketball has affected play from college to high school levels, where you have players really shooting those threes, because it's been noted that shooting a lot of threes increases efficiency for these teams. So you'll be seeing a lot more threes, and that's been a trend throughout basketball all over the world over the past few years. And
while we were getting a little summary on college basketball right there, we had a nice bucket down low from Jordan Benditson. Like we said a second ago, he's getting a lot of minutes lately. He's a junior guard, but he's been playing really well toward the end of the season, going into the Sarachek tournament, getting the first bucket of the game for Ida Crown, making a 3-2 game. 3-point attempt from MTA, no good, but it will be staying in their direction. I asked Coach before the game about Jordan Benditson, noting that he wasn't on, a lot of their statistics going into this tournament, reason being that he didn't get a lot of minutes, but he's been really upping his game. Coach has had a lot of positive things to share about him, saying that he's really earned the time, earned the starting nod for today, in this Tier 3 semifinal match.
And if you're a player and you get the opportunity to play in a game, you step up
and take a 3-point attempt just like that one. If you get those minutes, you can get those good looks. Didn't fall for MTA. Ida Crown looking to take that lead back. And we have a 3-2 game in favor of MTA. 5 minutes, 40 seconds left in the first quarter. Ball going the other way, a turnover. A little sloppy start, as we were saying a second ago. Maybe Yoni was right with the jitters. Maybe he was wrong. Either way, some sloppiness to begin. We'll see if they can get things under control.
I mean, if I had to decide, I would say I was right.
Which is good to know. Unfortunately, it's not really up to you. We'll have to see that one through.
And so far, it's interesting. I haven't seen Ida Crown try and get the ball into Beaucaire, even though you'd think that would be really one of their main goals coming into this game.
Especially being that you gave that advice in the pregame, you would think they would have picked up.
Again, I'm assuming that I'm right, so that's why.
That's usually the case, the assumption at least. Okay, we have a whistle, and the ball is staying with the Ida Crown Aces right now. We're now 3 minutes in, only have 5 total points scored. A little bit of a low-scoring game connecting to that sloppiness that we were just describing. We'll see if they can get the ball down low to Boker. He's the biggest guy in the court right now. He has a lot of size. His older brother plays for the YU team. Clearly, basketball's in their genes. We'll see if he can get something going here and make the family proud.
And YU sports is really an unbelievable thing. It's very standard. You have siblings who come up, through generations. YU actually just made it to their first Division III championship for the Skyline Conference, which has never been done in YU's history. So big shout out to those guys, because it takes an incredible amount of hard work to overcome the rigorous academic schedule, as well as religious obligations and learning. And YU athletes have a lot of spirit, and they work extremely hard to represent their school.
And on that note, speaking about the YU basketball, really there's like a few different times of the year where this gym is electric and there's people crowding the gym. Every nook and cranny of this gym is full. One of those games that I saw was the YU home playoff game that they had the privilege of hosting. Another time is this Sarachek tournament, where game in, game out, day out, this gym is packed, it's buzzing with electricity. And as I was just saying that, we had another bucket for MTA, increasing their lead to 5-2. A travel called on Ida Crown. Ball will be going in the MTA direction.
That was a close call. There was a lot going on there. The travel was before. There's definitely contact, and the referees are doing a good job of making sure not to get confused by all of the action down low.
And I also want to remind the fans and everyone listening back home that we have the Clipped Keepa Max Live inbox that we check during the game. And, here where you have to say, maybe give some shout-outs on air, hear some thoughts from the fans and all the family watching the game and supporting us. And we had a good take down low there, didn't fall. MTA looking to increase their lead here with 3:43 left in the first quarter.
I want to take the break here while the ref works out a second here and figures out what the call was. To we were just talking about how electric this gym gets during the Sarachek tournament. I actually live with a couple guys who went to Queens College. They don't even know that much about YU. They didn't go here. Sarachek comes around. They're tuned in, watching games day in, day out, supporting the university, supporting the Jewish community. It's really a pleasure to see. Deep three-point attempt for MTA. Doesn't fall. Ball almost falls out of bounds. Ida Crown tried a fancy save routine right there. Didn't work out. Staying MTA direction.
And it doesn't matter whether you save the ball in bounds or not. The point is to try. You can never, ever go wrong by trying. And it can energize your team, and that creates fast breaks like you're about to see.
A great move right there by Shlomo Mizels. Didn't fall, but very nice move getting to the bucket right there. We're going to need to see some more of those takes as this game goes along. But continuing with that sloppiness trend that we've seen, the ball is staying with their same direction after a little Ida Crown turnover, pushing it the other direction.
And Shlomo Weisberg, of the head coach of the MTA, was also a star for the Yeshiva University Maccabees a couple of years ago, and he's also carrying the tradition. And we have Eli Katz, who was coaching for Kohelet, and he didn't play on the team, but he helped out with the YU Maccabees. And there's just a proud alumni group also who's continues to be excited about these games, including Andy and I, who are graduates of YU but continue to want to be involved.
All right, we have the ball moving all the way around the court. A lot of action both ways. Whistle down low. It will stay with the Ida Crown Aces as they try to cut into this lead. 5-2 MTA, 2:36 on the clock. Ida Crown looking to get another basket here. They've only had one in this quarter. They're going to need a little bit more offense to stay with this MTA team right here. Ida Crown coming into the tournament as the 10 seed, hailing from Chicago, Illinois, looking to get something going here. Pass outside, a three-point attempt. It is good. That was number 24, Ezra Perlow. He actually didn't start the game. He was a quick substitution in the middle of the game. Gets on the court, shows the coach he made the right call by putting him in, and ties the game with a nifty three.
And that was a really nice play. Bring it outside and kick it out for an easy open three, and then you trust your shooters to knock it down, and that's exactly what they did.
And we hear a lot of support and cheering on the Ida Crown side over there. I've actually been told by the sideline that Kevin Boker, brother of Ida Crown star Ryan Boker, is in the crowd supporting them as well. And MTA also brings their fans out to these games, so the gym is very excited right now. We got a close game in the first quarter. A lot to keep going. Well, we're very excited from here in the booth.
And I noticed Ryan Boker on defense there. You see him disrupt so many plays with his size. He got a hand on a ball there. It disrupts the offense. It disrupts the flow. And that's, it's not the fancy block and the fancy steal, which, is the best defense. It's really just getting in there and getting dirty, which is what he did.
Ooh, nice pass down low. Ida Crown taking advantage of that sign. As Yoni was just saying, maybe a little prophetic right there. Complimenting Ryan Boker in his size and his ability. Giving it to him down low, getting the bucket to increase, to make the Ida Crown team up two.
People call me Moshe Rabbeinu sometimes because I'm so pathetic.
I don't know why they would do that, but, if you keep these things going, you might have a future ahead of you here. All right, we have Ida Crown 7, MTA 5, 1 minute left on the clock in the first quarter. MTA looking fairly patient, swinging the ball around, trying to get that good look. I'm sure Shlomo would appreciate this patient approach. No need to rush. We got plenty of time left in this game. And ball is going in the Ida Crown direction. I also want to point out that one of the Ida Crown better players, Gabe Cohen, who averaged 10 points a game during their season, is not playing today. He actually was unfortunately a little injured earlier in the tournament. Wasn't any Saturday Night Fever or anything, but he did get a little shaken up, so he's not playing today. That's where Jordan Benditson comes into play, trying to capitalize and really do some damage here for the Ida Crown Aces. And we have a timeout, 55.8 seconds left in the first quarter. Ida Crown 7, MTA 5. Yoni, if you're one of these coaches here, which one do you think you might have a little more of an insight into, based on what you've seen, based on what you think they need to do out here? What do you think is going to, come our way?
Well, it's going to sound repetitive, but the second they got the ball into Boker, they scored. I would continue to try and feed him. Colum still hasn't, scored in this game. So I think they will create more open opportunities by bringing the ball in, just as the way they scored a couple minutes ago. If they continue to bring it in and work it out, I think that's going to be a really good move. They really need to use Boca's size, because you just look on the court and there's no one who can match him. It creates offensive issues for MTA and defensive issues, so they should continue to emphasize that mismatch.
All right, we'll see if another prophecy is coming true from my color commentator here. We have 49 seconds left on the clock, 7-5 ball game. Pass down low to Boca, pulls up for but doesn't fall off the side of the backboard. Rebound down low for Ida Crown. That was number 51, Shmuel Horowitz, a senior, puts it in to increase their lead to 4.
But Boca gets so much attention on defense that was a good play. It wasn't an amazing shot, but that fadeaway, there's gravity around him.
And a steal. Great pressure there by Ida Crown. Fortunately lost at the last second. That was Amitai Colum, another player that Yoni mentioned we've got to keep an eye out here for his ability and way to change this game. Almost came away with a fast break opportunity. Unfortunately, it was a little too close to the sideline and was called for an out of bounds.
That was a very athletic play, and it was a good move. And he almost that would have been an easy layup, and they're going to continue to search those passing lanes for quick steals.
All right, we have 23 seconds left in the first quarter. Ida Crown 9, MTA 5. And we do have a shot clock this year at Sarachek, unlike some of the prior Saracheks. But the shot clock in this specific situation is very close to the game clock. So we might see MTA hold for 1. But I am not the prophet of the two of us. They did not go for that. They found the good look, got the bucket. 9-7 Ida Crown here. 8 seconds left on the clock. We hear a countdown from the crowd. Everyone's very into this. Puts it up down low, draws the foul. It didn't fall, but he is going to the line for 2 free throws right here.
I'm a huge fan of MTA taking that shot. I don't see the benefit enough in forcing a poor shot at the end of the shot clock versus taking the best shot available. And they took the best shot available, a medium-range jumper, splashed it. Then you get back on defense, and it didn't work out this time, but I think that's the right mentality. When you get a good shot, you take it. Don't worry about the clock now.
Heard from our MTA sideline reporter that the MTA is going to look to keep attacking the space in the middle and the baseline, and they feel the shots will start to fall. Well, we definitely already saw that as the shot fell on the last possession there. On the Ida Crown side, he split the pair of free throws, and there was a bucket at the buzzer that I believe will count. I saw the ref indicate that it will count. A very clutch shot, making a 12-7 game. We will send this to a quick commercial break here at the end of the first quarter. We are about to start this. And we're back in the Max Stern Athletic Center for the Tier 3 semifinal matchup. MTA Lions, Ida Crown Aces. We had an exciting first quarter. Ida Crown 12, MTA 7. And it was about to be 10-7. I actually thought that was going to be the score at the end of the quarter. But Ida Crown had other plans. They hit a bucket right at the buzzer. Ref indicating it counted. Almost a little March Madness type play right there. This time of year, a lot of buzzer beaters, a lot of exciting plays. Almost a move straight out of NBA 2K. Really nice to see. We'll see if MTA can really chip into this lead right here.
And it really did start to pick up near the end of that quarter. And I think we're going to continue to see the game pick up. I think each team is going to score, close to double what they did in the first quarter, I would say, in the second quarter. And that's my next prophecy.
That's the next prophecy, ladies and gentlemen. We will see if this will come true. Little tussle for the ball right there, staying the MTA direction.
And Colum is all over the passing lanes. That's like the second or third ball he's gotten a hand on earlier in this game. And if he continues to play aggressively and get in there, that will absolutely cause offense. So far it hasn't, but it's also an energizer on defense. And so much about it is the way the team is working together and how much energy they have. And they're coming out with an incredible amount of energy so far.
All right, we have 7.5 minutes left in the clock in the first half here. 12-7 Ida Crown. MTA looking to chip into that lead. Called for a travel. Not what you want to see from the MTA side of it. I believe that was number 54, Eitan Pfeiffer, with the travel. Ida Crown definitely pleased with the call, pushing the ball in the other direction here.
MTA needs to be careful not to let this game get away from them, because Ida Crown is looking good. They're looking confident. They ended that quarter very well, and big leads can grow. So they should look to really, step it up on defense and continue to really push it in on offense, so that way this doesn't get out of hand.
Talking about Step It Up, I just want to give a quick shout out to Step It Up. Max Live, does a lot of what we do through Step It Up and through our sponsors. And our halftime show that you will see in just over 7 minutes of game time will be run by Step It Up for their 7th straight year of sponsorship. Big thank you to them as well as the other sponsors. And lest we miss the action we just saw in the core right there, MTA bucket down low, Eitan Pfeiffer cutting into that lead. We have 12-9 with 6:40 left on the clock.
And that was a beautiful play, and that's makes it a 3-point game, and they're right back in it.
All right, we have 6 minutes, 30 seconds here before the half. Boker with the fadeaway. Didn't fall. 12-9. Here we go. MTA looking to get another bucket, 2 possessions in a row.
I'm not a huge fan of too many fadeaways, especially when you have such a big size deficit. Fading away, you're going away from the basket instead of towards it by definition. So if you can get your body to the basket and get a close shot instead of making your shot more difficult, then you should definitely try to do that. I think a fadeaway is a last resort and not something you should go to multiple times.
And we had Pfeiffer take it down low. Didn't fall for him. Warburg with the rebound. Also didn't fall. Ida Crown back with the ball, looking to increase their lead. Nice patient approach by them as well. They're definitely content with this lead right now. Probably looking to get a slightly larger one going into halftime and be a bit more confident for the second half. Boker swings it down low, going for the scoop layup. That was Jordan Benditson, the junior guard we were just talking about before, getting really good time this tournament. Didn't fall for him. But I believe he drew, let's see what the call was in just a second. Refs consulting amongst each other, trying to make sure they got the right call. All right, ball will be staying with Ida Crown. They had a 3-point lead, 12-9, 5:40 left in the first half. Tier 3 semifinal. That was a 3-point attempt. Didn't fall. Bucket down low. Very nice. Put back in the hoop. That was number 3, Max Baker. Very nicely done. All right, we currently have a 14-9 game. 5.5 left on the clock. Both teams going to the bench here, take a quick breather, trying to reset their offense, trying to get something going. Ida Crown trying to increase that lead. We'll send it to a quick commercial break. Yeah. Shimmy, no. I hear. Oh, shimmy, yeah. Shimmy, I don't know. Shimmy, I hear.
You never want to see that. Yeah.
Roger that.
Roger. I don't know how many got this BLT things in there.
What is that? That's a sponsor? It's a sponsor? I've never heard of them. We're back. 5.5 on the clock here before halftime. Ida Crown 14, MTA 9. Ida Crown coach indicating earlier in the game they're looking to be taking this 1 quarter at a time, 1 play at a time. Closing out on shooters, getting the ball to Boker in the middle, looking to use that size advantage. MTA coach Shlomo Weisberg stressing they got to bring that effort, bring that aggressiveness, box out down low, set up their offense that they've been running all season long.
They really don't have any other choice, just because when you don't have that size, the only way to make up for it is just pure aggression.
All right, MTA swinging the ball around. Looking at that best look, trying to cut into this lead. Three-point attempt, little bit short, didn't fall. That was Eitan Pfeiffer, the junior guard, trying to get that three bucket. Wasn't to be. Ida Crown not wasting much time there, going for the quick three attempt. And there will be a foul on the court, staying the same direction for Ida Crown.
MTA is just having a tough time getting into their offense. They're swinging the ball around. You have cutters moving back and forth. They just can't quite figure out how to get themselves a couple of easy baskets to get themselves going.
Ooh, very nice find down low. Quick bucket off the inbound pass, increasing the lead to 7 here with 4:40 left before halftime.
That was a nice cut by Avi Braun. Beautiful. And that's the kind of easy bucket MTA just hasn't been able to get so far.
And you could hear the Ida Crown faithful right behind their bench getting into it as well, as their team is doing well so far here at the Tier 3 semifinal. You know, they came off a tough defeat the other night. That was a to catch Yeshiva. Off to a much better start here. A block down low.
And the reaction of the Ida Crown defense has been just amazing. Their defense, I don't think anyone can question that. It's really been stellar so far. Incredible amount of pressure, recovery. That looked like it was an easy layup, and the defense just came swarming to make sure it didn't go down.
And MTA with the inbound pass. Three-point attempt doesn't fall. That was Shlomo Mizels trying to get that bucket. He is one of their go-to scorers. I believe you only referred to that during the beginning of the game here. A couple of their guys kind of carry the load of that offense. They might look to spread it around here. We'll see how it goes.
Exactly. I mean, the issue is when you have 3 players doing most of the legwork, first of all, they tire out, and second of all, it's easy to load the defense on them. You know who it's going to go to.
A pretty move by Ida Crown. That was Perlow there down low. Didn't fall, but everyone was into that one as he made a nice nifty move. Ends up turning the ball over, going back in the MTA direction.
And that's been the difference so far, because Ida Crown has gotten those shots. Some of them fall, some of them don't, and that's how basketball works. MTA just hasn't been able to even get the chance so far. And they're going to have to figure out something before half to, close it up a little bit here.
Some wise words right there. Some shots go in, some shots do not. And we have a foul. The ball will stay with MTA here. They are down 7. There's only 3.5 before halftime. You've got to imagine they're going to bring some extra effort here, trying to raise that level of enthusiasm out there, cut into that lead. They got to, make this a closer game before halftime.
And the big 3 of MTA is really like a BLT, a bacon, lettuce, tomato sandwich. You have 3 players, and they just make up most of that sandwich, and they're famous for it, but they're carrying all the flavor. And so we're hoping to see the bench step it up as well.
And just as we were saying that and talk about stepping it up, that was Shlomo Mizels right there with a big three-pointer, making it a 4-point game. Very nice to see, making a nice close game. Crowds into it. We were just talking about them stepping it up. And they forced the turnover. They're on a roll right now. We'll see if they can keep this going.
And you really want to finish the half on a very strong note. So that way you have the confidence coming in, and you're not fighting from behind. You feel like you're the one with the energy and the one with the motivation coming into the second half.
And that was Mizels taking it down low to the hoop, getting a decent look. Didn't fall for him. Ida Crown setting up their offense with Boker at the top. And we will see how they decide to run right here. An errant pass from Boker. Out of bounds called on Ida Crown, going the MTA direction. A little miscommunication right there. It happens sometimes. They played a bunch of games back in Chicago, a bunch of games here. Every now and then, you got a couple guys with different mindsets trying to accomplish different things on the court.
There has happened, but they got him down low, and it seemed like there was a little bit too much confusion after when it should have been a good opportunity to make something happen.
A big possession for MTA right here. down 4, only 2 minutes left before halftime. 3-point attempt, in and out, and it will be staying in the MTA direction right here.
And that was a great offensive rebound. And it gives them an opportunity to have a sideline play from out of bounds. And Ida Crown has definitely converted on those. Let's see how MTA does.
And we have 16-12. 2 minutes before halftime. 4-point game. Crowd is into it. Players are into it. Max Live supporting cast is into it.
It'd be easier to list who wasn't into it, Andy.
That is a valid point, but I will focus on the action right here as there's a lot going on down there right next to that hoop.
That's a beautiful play by Chaim Weinstein to grab the offensive board and try for an easy bucket, and he grabbed another offensive board. So Chaim really grabbing 2 good rebounds there, and he just didn't give up on that play, and he earned those trips to the free throw line where he's a very good shooter, and he's looking to convert on these shots.
Yeah, we got Chaim Weinstein at the line right here. A senior guard / forward for MTA, a little bit versatile because he's got the size and the speed, can kind of play a few different roles. And he hits the first free throw, looking to get the second as well.
His brother, actually an alumni of the YU cross country team, ran the New York City Half Marathon this morning, along with Noam Polster and Yitzi Markel, who both of whom also ran the New York City Full Marathon. And they're excellent examples of YU alumni who continue their sport post-college and go on to accomplish great things.
All right, 2-point game, passing it down low, almost falling out of bounds. A great save there. That was saved by Amitai Kolam, passed it outside, and they nailed the 3, increasing their lead to 5 here with just 1 minute left before halftime. And Yoni was just speaking about the athletics here at Yeshiva University and some of the athletes, both current and past. I want to take that quick second, give a shout out to YU Office of Undergrad Admissions and Office of Athletics here for their sponsorship and support, as well as Play Hard, Pray Hard. We could not do what we do here at Max Live without all of our sponsors here and making that happen. And here we have 35 seconds left. Ida Crown 19, MTA 16. Not much time left on the clock here before halftime. Takes it down low. Doesn't fall. MTA pushing in the other direction. Shlomo Mizell is looking to add another 3 to his resume right there.
Fell just a little bit short. Maybe could have taken a little bit more time as the clock for the half is running out anyway.
A 3-point attempt. It is good. That was Jordan Benditson. We've been speaking a lot about him, but clearly he's doing something right out there. Ida Crown is now up 6, and in just a moment I will be sending it down to Sammy at the Ida Crown sideline. He's got the Ida Crown coach looking to share some thoughts and insights, and it is now down to Sammy with the Ida Crown coach.
Okay. Hi, I'm here with Coach Bolden. Coach, obviously going into a halftime with a 5-point lead, not the strongest offensive performance, make up with it for your defense. Tell me about that.
We're just locked in on this 1-2-2. We're rotating. They like to shoot outside, and we're trying to meet the shooter as he catches the pass. Sometimes we're having success with it, and sometimes not. But you're right. Offensively is where our struggles are. Our defense is solid right now. We do got to rebound better because they're getting second shots, but we've got to execute on the offensive end, and we're not doing it right now.
And, Coach, quickly tell me about the fans here. Obviously a major factor to see Ida Crown fan base coming out. Tell me about how they've been throughout this game.
We absolutely love them. They give us energy. They energize me, so I know what they do for the boys. We can't win without them.
Thank you so much, Coach. Sending it back to the booth.
All right, thank you for those words. We got that from Coach Bolden and Sammy. We will send it to halftime here, and you will hear from Step It Up at the halftime show.
All right, thank you.
rest the mic on it. You got these in your ears. Is it coming anymore here? Start by introducing you and why you, whatever. And then I guess I'll just ask you to explain what Step It Up is. Like, a lot of fans probably heard of it, but they don't really know what it is. Give like a brief recap about that, and like maybe I'll throw a second question later when I have time to do it. How long do I got to answer? Max, break up into 2 questions. What Step It Up is, and then how it affected my game. How long do you have on air? 1 minute?
Welcome to Step It Up.
Welcome back to the Max Stern Athletic Center, here for a quick halftime interview. My name is Andy Rosenberg. I'm here with Ellie Mammon, captain of the legendary YU basketball team, doing something never done before, winning the Skyline Conference Championship. Also has a big role at Step It Up, one of our big sponsors here. Ellie, could you tell me about Step It Up, kind of give me a quick rundown on what they do?
For sure. First of all, I'm one of the camp directors at Step It Up. Been there for 6 years now. Modern Orthodox Jewish camp. You know, we started in South Florida and built our way up to the Northeast in New Hampshire and now New Jersey, and we develop Jewish basketball players from around the country and around the world.
And you've had a lot of experience with Step It Up, having a big role there. How were you able to take what you got from the camp, your work there, your playing there, and translate that onto your game at the court here at Yeshiva?
So I started playing basketball in high school and early on in my high school career, and I did that through Step It Up. Started going to day camps and eventually the sleepaway camp for a year, and then ended up working there during my summers for the last couple of years, and it's really helped me develop my game from Yoga coaching me in high school to him coaching me in college, and I think it contributes to a lot of the guys on the team and helping us win a championship this year. All right, thank you, Ellie. Very informative. That was Step It Up, one of our big sponsors here at the Max Live Sarachek tournament. And we now just have about 35 seconds before we are back live for the third quarter. 6-point lead for Ida Crown. And
All right, Ellie, how was that tournament run you guys had? You know, doing something never been done before. You have a little feedback on that? What did you gain out of that experience?
I'll say it felt magical. You know, we worked our butts off this year, starting off pretty slow in the game and getting a couple new guys and me coming off of injury. We went on a big 8-game win streak toward the end of the season, and it propelled us into the tournament, you know. And it was a great season overall. Thank you to all our fans in the YU community and around the country.
All right, thank you, Ellie.
Thank you very much.
All right, we're live. Third quarter about to begin. 6-point lead for Ida Crown. MTA looking to chip into that lead. They got they're playing in their home court here. This is where they play their home games, being a YU affiliate. So they're very comfortable here in this gym. We just need to see that transfer over to the dominant style of play we all know they're capable of bringing out here. All right, Ida Crown starting here with the ball. Looking to increase that lead. 6 right now, but I'm sure they would love to get that to double figures with a few more buckets.
Ida Crown really got comfortable towards the end of that half. You could really see they started settling in, getting to their game. So now MTA is kind of on their heels. They have to react a little bit, which isn't ideal. But once again, they do have home court, and they are used to this type of situation.
And Ida Crown off the inbound pass with the 3 attempt. Doesn't fall. Rebound down low by Jordan Bendenson also doesn't fall. A couple good looks, but they didn't fall for Ida Crown.
And you can tell both of these teams are really scrappy because we've seen a lot of offensive rebounds, and that's purely corresponding with energy levels and hustle.
All right, and we are told by our MTA sideline reporter right next to the MTA bench that they will be looking out for a full-court press that Ida Crown might be inducing after their first basket. And a little pushing near the sideline there. No call. Nice save by Ida Crown.
That was unfortunate because it was a beautiful pass. It was a beautiful bullet right to where it needs to be, just a little bit too hot maybe.
And Jordan Bendenson, who seems to be getting a lot of airtime with his production on the court here, hits the 2, increasing the Ida Crown lead to 8. All right, MTA need to cut into that lead. This is for an opportunity to play in the Tier 3 finals that will be happening, I believe, 11:30 here tomorrow on Championship Monday. And we have a full stock of exciting games here happening at the Max Stern Athletic Center. We have games all day long, starting from 9 a.m., going into the evening. And I'm going to pause that idea for a second because MTA hit a bucket there, making it a 6-point game. But right after this game, we have the first of the 2 Tier 1 semifinals games between Valley Torah and Magen David, followed by Shalhevet and SAR.
And that was a beautiful take by Colum. However, the ball is going the opposite way as we had a sacrifice of a body right there. So.
Nice gritty defensive play coming up big there for MTA.
And that type of defense does so much for the entire play of the team. Only because you're sacrificing your body, you're taking one, there's no glory in it, only a really strong defensive play.
All right, MTA looking to get that momentum they just got on that defensive play and bring that to the offensive side of the court as well. 3-point attempt, banks it in, kisses it off the glass. That was Noah Pagonitz with a big bucket right there. Oh. I misspoke, but a nice 3-pointer by MTA right there.
The price was really right on that shot.
Three-point attempt coming back the other direction. Sometimes they get into a little bit of a 3-point shootout out there. Sometimes it helps to settle down and get the offenses flowing as usual.
I totally agree, Andy. And you should look to work it inside again because once again, one of our keys was Boker, and they haven't gone to him in a while. And one of the points, a couple of, the shots he took were actually from pretty deep. He did hit a 3-pointer, but that's not exactly what they're looking to get from him. And we don't want to stereotype because he's a big man. We don't want to stereotype his playing style, but it would absolutely be beneficial in this kind of game.
And we had Hudi Weiss connecting with Shlomo Mizels there, but a foul call, so they will reset their offense. All right, nice take down low. A nice lefty finish for MTA, making this a 1-point game. They're getting off to a hot start here, Yoni. It's nice to see. Nice close game.
That was a gorgeous play by Chaim Weinstein. Gorgeous.
And just as we were saying that, Ida Crown responds instantly. That was Amitai Kolam taking the length of the court and finishing it off the glass. A 3-point lead for Ida Crown. All right, MTA down 3. Looking to capitalize right here. 3-point attempt, and it is good. Another big shot by MTA. Shlomo Meisel's right there, and we have a tie game. MTA has got to be pleased with the way they started the second half.
And that's the only thing you could do. They had a low-key first half, to say the least, and they've been on fire to start this one, coming out with all the energy you need.
Forcing a turnover, going the MTA direction. Back to Meisel's. He's got the hot hands. Calling for the ball.
It's good to slow it down on that one because it's a 3-on-4 fast break, so it's a tough shot to get, and they're going to just reset their offense and start from the beginning. Plenty of time.
And they spread the ball around. A nice pass in the middle to their big man, Chaim Weinstein, who hits the jumper from the free throw line to give MTA the lead.
Chaim absolutely on fire, taking good shots. He's taking good shots. They're open. They're careful, using his footwork and athleticism to make it happen.
And I want to give a quick shout out and thank you to the Teaneck Doghouse as well as Dougie's, who provide some food for us during the game, sponsor us during the tournament, and really enable us to do what we do throughout this entire tournament.
And there's so much that goes into this tournament. There really is. Tons of teamwork. One special shout out to Benny Statman, who used to run this and who did our first broadcast with us 4 years ago, Andy.
I remember it like it was yesterday.
Well, it was 4 years ago, so it wasn't yesterday. But hey, Benny, in LA, and wishing you all the best, and we miss you.
All right, and we had Kolam with a nifty move before, going for a little reverse action, didn't fall, so went the other way, and I believe we have a foul called as the ball stays with MTA. MTA getting off to a very hot start here in the third quarter. 2-point lead. Nice inbound pass, doubling their lead to 4. Very nice finish. Perlo looking to push it for Ida Crown. MTA maybe getting a little too excited, called for a reach-in foul, much to the disappointment of the crowd there. But it will be staying here. 4-point game, 2:37 left here in the third quarter of the Tier 3 semifinals. And that was Coach Golden of Ida Crown calling a timeout, trying to regroup here as the team has started a little bit slow here in the third quarter. And we will send you to a quick commercial break.
Hi, I'm Arya Rubin. I'm from Chicago and I'm majoring in finance. Over the past 2 years, I've had the opportunity to play on the men's NCAA volleyball team. This has given me the opportunity to pursue my love of sports without having to sacrifice my other passions and values. There's something special about not only representing YU, but also representing the entire Jewish community every time we take the court. Being on the volleyball team has allowed me to excel both in leadership and teamwork, which are both skills I hope to incorporate as I enter into the business world. Also, Mom and Dad, if you're watching, it'd be nice if you came to one of my games.
2:37 left here in the third quarter. MTA 30, Ida Crown 26. Ida Crown calling the timeout there. A little bit sluggish here in the third quarter. Looking to capitalize right off that timeout after regrouping with Coach Bolden, trying to set up a play that they might run back home in Chicago.
And yeah, now they're on their heels, and it has been a back-and-forth exciting game so far. It's going to be interesting to see who can keep the level of play up.
And the inbound pass was to Perlow, who swung it right back to Kolam, one of their go-to players. Takes the jumper from the free throw line, doesn't fall. Perlow comes out of nowhere with the board. Very nicely done. Good effort there by the Ida Crown Aces. Nice feed down low. Oh, but MTA with their swarming defense managed to pick up the ball. And a foul called on Ida Crown. That was their big man, Ryan Boker, maybe a little over-aggressive right there trying to get that board.
And that's just so tough because they're making good plays. They're running it inside. They're moving the ball around. And sometimes, you get punished for doing the right thing. And in that scenario, they made maybe one pass extra, and they kind of paid for it. But they should continue to look to be aggressive and get it to the players who will make things happen, which they did. But didn't quite work on that play.
And MTA here with the ball. They are up 4. Shlomo was reporting before. He wanted them to call off the press. They don't need that as much, but they will bring 120% here in the court. They will bring extra effort, trying to secure that game. And just as I'm saying that, a big three-pointer made by Eitan Pfeiffer for MTA, making it a 7-point game. And you can hear the MTA bench cheering their team on the defensive side here. Very energized game, action-packed, jump ball called, staying the Ida Crown direction.
And MTA, they're just not losing their enthusiasm, their excitement here, which is why they're continuing to lead. They're playing their game now, which is they're not reactionary anymore. They're dictating the pace. They're dictating it in the way they'd like to make it happen. And that's why they're winning. And that's why, you see Ida Crown needs to pick it up. They need to get back into it. They shouldn't, hang their heads low. You see, their body language isn't what it needs to be, but it can be.
All right, MTA actually with the ball here. Ida Crown bringing a lot of action on the defensive side. Seems to be maybe a full court press going on here as they pressure MTA and try to give them trouble, bring the ball up court. But didn't seem to bother them. They got it up very quickly and looked to capitalize here.
It's interesting to go with full press because your advantage is your size, and full court press can kind of neglect that a little bit.
And we had a three-point attempt by Shlomo Meisels right there. Didn't fall, going back the Ida Crown direction. And now they are down 7. Big possession for them. And it's as if I was having a conversation right there with Jordan Bennington, as I've been doing for much of this game. It's a big three-pointer, making it a 4-point game. Ida Crown bringing a 2-2-1 defensive press. And it works. They force the turnover, send it down low to Max Baker, draws the foul, will be going to the line, much to the delight of the Ida Crown crowd from Chicago. Very nice to see. Three-pointer, bringing the 2-2-1 press, forcing the turnover, sending it down low, drawing the foul. A great couple plays right there for Ida Crown.
And we really have listeners from all over the world. A friend of mine who's actually lives in Israel and who married into a Chicago family is watching Ida Crown, which is pretty cool. John Singer, hello from New York City.
Welcome, John, and welcome to all of our fans back home. Family, friends, fans of basketball, fans of Max Live, everything. We work hard for this production. We're happy with what we produce. We have a lot of people down here, and we have a great game on the court right here. MTA 33, Ida Crown 29. Ida Crown at the line. Misses the free throw. It will stay a 4-point game with just under a minute left in the third quarter. Ida Crown still bringing that 2-2-1 press. Maybe a little over-aggressive. I think there was a foul called, and now we have a timeout. 47 seconds left. Yoni, we've seen a nice change of pace here. We had Ida Crown looking a bit sharper in the first half, MTA looking a bit sharper in the second half. What do you think could be going on in those huddles right now, here near the end of the third quarter?
Well, MTA is saying keep it up, keep the pace up, get your easy baskets, and try not to confront the big men of Ida Crown. Ida Crown is saying slow it down, let's make it our game. We like to move it inside, kick it out for threes. So when the ball is moving back and forth and you're having a lot of fast break opportunities, then you don't have the opportunity to work it in and then out. So, right now they're playing MTA's game. They're going to try and slow it down to play their own.
And also worth noting, MTA bringing a lot of pressure as well. There's pressure going both ways here. And you might even be able to say that, the more MTA pressures Ida Crown, the harder it will be for, the Ida Crown Academy here to send the ball down and low to Boker. We've been saying a lot of this game, Boker is their go-to man, their big man down low. A lot of the offense runs through him. And we've seen a lot of pressure. It could even be Shlomo sending out pressure here to keep the ball down away from Boker and, trying to maintain that lead they have here. MTA with a quick, nice look. Very close to the hoop. Didn't fall, though. Boker with the rebound down low with not a lot of time left. This is going to maybe be the last possession, if not the second last possession here in the third quarter.
That was a great look, and that's the look that, that you want, but if you can't finish it, you're okay with it because you might get it again, and that's not the kind of look they were getting in the first half, which I mentioned, and they're getting it here in the second half as Perlo takes it inside.
Shot clock winding down, possession winding down. Didn't fall for Ida Crown. MTA going the other way. On the fast break. Lays it in with the left hand. That was Hootie Weiss with Boker trailing. A big bucket, increasing the lead to 6. We have MTA 35, Ida Crown 29, and we will send it to a commercial break here at the end of the third quarter. And we're live here at the Max Stern Athletic Center. We are in the fourth quarter of action. This is the Tier 3 semifinal game. MTA from, right here on this campus, right across the street. Ida Crown from Chicago, both bringing their A game. We have an exciting game, exciting quarter left to play. A lot of good action here in the court. And we will see how they start right here with 8 minutes left on the clock here in the first Tier 3 semifinal. And right after this, stay tuned, we have Valley Torah against Magen David. Tier 1 semifinals looking to get to the Tier 1 finals. That's the 2-3 against the 3 seed. Following that, Shalhevet against SAR, the 1 against the 5. 4 great teams right there, all looking to bring their A game and clinch a spot on Championship Monday in the Tier 1 finals. Ida Crown inbounding the ball right here. Perlo on the side, inbounding to Max Baker. 6-point game, 8 minutes. Let's do this.
And it's anybody's game right now. Now is a missed steal.
Ida Crown swinging the ball around. Boker down low. Foul staying the Ida Crown direction.
And that was a gorgeous move by Boker, something I've been waiting to see the entire game. Put it down, go up strong, and that would absolutely yield positive results. Or you kick it out if you get an open shot, and that's kind of what they started doing towards the end of last quarter, and this game is totally within reach.
And Colum just checked in right there, gets the ball pretty quickly, sends it down low, and the MTA was called a foul right there. Baker going to the free throw line for 2.
And going for that many steals is a little bit dangerous because it creates a hole in the defense, and it means everyone has to rotate and everyone has to cover for one another, which is okay, but if you go for it too often, you're leaving your team exposed to scoring inside.
And I want to take a moment here and just to thank our Max Live crew. We have a lot of people working on this broadcast, ensuring that we can give it to our fans and friends back home who are watching this game and listening to this game. We have producers Max Hoffman, Shimi Nabozny, sideline Sammy Katz, Nathan Strendy, scoreboard Donnie Brodsky, Tess Blaustein, and Avi Seebeck, some of the commentators from the more recent game that you just witnessed. Past President Oren Glickman on video review as well. Camera Tyler Holt, Shlomo Mursky, and Avi Schechter. And you have me, Andy Rosenberg, and my color commentator Yoni Shedlow here getting ready for the last 7 minutes of this Tier 3 semifinal game. 5-point game. Ida Crown chipping into that lead if they can. Takes it down low. A nice lefty finish by Max Baker, the senior guard. Maybe he was a little bit too excited after that. A foul called on Ida Crown as MTA was bringing the ball up court. Ball will be staying in the MTA direction with a 3-point lead.
Something which is really interesting is it does benefit MTA to move a little bit faster, try and get on the break. But as the game winds down, the opportunities for that will definitely be, far and few, a little bit fewer because they're just, that's just the way the end of games usually go. They're just not going to be breaking as much. So they're going to have to kind of, break free a little bit now, or they'll have a little bit of a disadvantage towards the end of this game.
And we'll see how MTA plays this, right? They have Shlomo Weisberg as their coach. Played on the YU basketball team. Definitely proud of his player right there. You can see his enthusiasm on the sideline as a big three-pointer hit by Eitan Warburg, increasing the lead to 6.
That was humongous. That was huge.
6-point game. MTA up. 3-point attempt by Ida Crown. Going the other way. Looks like it hit the top of the backboard right there. Going the other direction.
And that's the shot they want. Boker got double teamed. He made the easy pass back outside. He got an open look. Couldn't quite get it to go down, but that would have made it a 3-point game. So they're going to have to really D up here and look for another shot similar to that one.
Actually, an interesting storyline as well is that Shlomo, the MTA coach, the YU alum, the YU basketball player, actually went to Ida Crown for high school and played at Sarachek for that Aces team, and I believe they won the Tier 1 finals that year over the Hank team, who's in this tournament as well. So he definitely knows what it takes in the Sarachek tournament, and he's currently coaching for his current team and the team that's affiliated with his university while playing against his high school team. Nice take down low there by MTA right before the shot clock expired. Ida Crown with the rebound, but turns it over, staying with MTA with 5.5 on the clock here in the fourth quarter.
And that was a big turnover after a really good defensive sequence. They're going to have to lace them back up on defense here again and do it again.
MTA sending it down low. Swarming defense by Ida Crown. Passing it outside. 3-point attempt didn't fall for Eitan Pfeiffer. We will see what Coach Bolden is indicating that his Aces should do here. They definitely had their fair share of close games there back in Chicago. Now they just got to bring it here to New York City. Boker with the fadeaway. A nice soft touch down low.
It's still a 2-possession game with 5 minutes left, which is an incredible amount of time to get things going. And here's MTA breaking again. It's been working for them thus far.
Breaking again, not seeming to mind that Ida Crown pressure. Just looking to get, their own game going here. Ooh, a strip there by Perlo. Wow, very quick hands getting in there, interrupting their play and sending it the Ida Crown way. A very nice defensive play. Swing it to Boker in the middle by the free throw line. Little bit of a spin. Another soft touch. This one hit the back rim. Didn't fall for Boker this time.
That was a good move. Just can't, get it to go down. He's not going to be upset about that one. He'll take that one 100% of the time.
And as if it is possible, this gym is already more crowded than it was just a few minutes ago. We have 4:17 left here in the fourth quarter, and we can see on the sideline the teams that are in the upcoming game. Teams in the upcoming game, Valley Torah, Magen David looking to get pumped up. Both looking to get to the Tier 1 finals happening here tomorrow at the Max Stern Athletic Center. Valley Torah hailing from Los Angeles, Magen David hailing from Brooklyn. Another Los Angeles team, Shalhevet, in the game right after them. Eula also making some damage here. LA with a very strong representation here at this tournament. Nice to see a broad spectrum of talent here from these Jewish high school players.
The only thing that's unfortunate is LA didn't quite bring their weather here.
That would be nice. We are, mid to late March here looking to get that nice weather. But right now we're in the gym. We're not outside. We're inside here in the packed Max Stern Athletic Center, getting ready here off this timeout. Not a lot of time left on the clock. 4:17 to be exact. We'll see if Ryan Boker can continue those good looks he's getting. Missed the last one, got the one before that. 4-point game. MTA ball. Let's see how this plays out. I can make a prediction here, but I think I'd be flabbergasted by the result, as my predictions don't tend to be true. I like to just focus on what I see in front of my eyes right here. And we'll see what MTA brings off the timeout. A great play. Ball rolling around the rim, and it falls, much to the delight of a lot of fans here, as Chaim Weinstein gets the bucket to increase it to a 6-point game.
He's been stellar this game. He has really been the spark to their offense with his athletic play.
Quick down low by Boker. Ball flying around a little bit. Foul called. Looks like it will be staying in the Ida Crown direction.
And Chaim really sparked that initial scoring outburst, which brought them back into the game and gave them the lead. And so it's necessary now, with the lead in jeopardy, to continue to fill it in.
All right, right off the inbound pass, another foul on MTA. Ida Crown pleased with that. They kind of need to cut into that lead. Not that much time left, only 3:48. 6-point game, and the big man.
And that's exactly what you want at this juncture, because the clock stops and you have a chance to close the lead without wasting any time whatsoever. So he's got to focus on hitting these free throws, as I'm sure he has. And we've seen him shoot very well, and I'm not, he's known to be a good free throw shooter. So let's see if he can knock these down.
All right, and we have Ryan Boker at the line. Older brother Kevin right behind the Ida Crown bench, hoping that trying to will his brother to hit that free throw. Got a good look at that free throw on him, rim out right there. Sometimes it doesn't fall for you even with a good look. Trying to split the pair. Doesn't fall, ball going MTA direction.
That was costly. You have to have at least one of them when you have a chance like that this late in the game and this close of a game.
Yeah, a lot of these teams here struggling with free throws. Not only here, college ball also. In the March Madness, you see struggle with free throws. Very important part of the game. MTA hoping to get something going here. Ball falls out of bounds, but it'll stay in their direction. MTA looking to send out, get their inbound pass going on here. See what play they have in store. Winner of this game clinching their spot to the Tier 3 finals tomorrow. Both suffering tough defeats in their prior game, looking to get on a more positive front here. And we'll see, what MTA does to ensure that happens on this inbound play. Sending it up top. Intercepted. Amitai Kolam takes to the length of the court. A very nice defensive play. Nice finish. 4-point game.
And Kolam has been waiting for that the entire game. He got his hand on a lot of steals in the first half. Hasn't since, but that was a beautiful anticipation and led to the easy bucket, which is exactly what they need. It's a two-possession game, Andy.
Good to see. Nice enthusiasm, nice excitement here as we have a very close game. Both teams, showing their grit, their enthusiasm, their energy, looking to win this game and clinch their spot in tomorrow's game. MTA knowing they got a lot of time here, and they're up, so they can, milk that clock a little bit. We do have a shot clock, but there is, plenty of time on that. There is no rush, and they seem to understand that. Pass the ball around. 3-point attempt blocked by Boker. Another, a nice rebound there by Weinstein, who got a good look, didn't fall for him. Ida Crown quickly pushing in the other direction. Ball falls out of bounds, staying in, the Ida Crown hands. It's
so tough to block a three-point shot. It's an incredibly difficult thing, and you can see Boker's skill and his talent and his anticipation to get a hand on that shot. And Ida Crown continues to play, make a lot of good defensive plays. They just haven't been able to quite get into their offense. Defense has been there. Let's see if they can fill up the hoop a little bit to get back in this.
All right. 4-point game, 2.5 on the clock. A lot of action left to be played. A nice move by Ida Crown right there. Max Baker faking the three, taking it to the hoop, drawing the foul, stopping the clock with an opportunity to cut into that lead.
Once again, at this late in the game, getting these free throws is super important, especially converting on them.
I know back home, my Uncle Drew always emphasized for me how important free throws are. Gotta hit those free throws. They're a very important part of the game. Cut into that lead. And we have Max Baker, who hit the first, looking to get the second one here and make it a 2-point game, ideally, for Ida Crown.
Are you related to Kyrie Irving? Didn't know that.
There are other Drews out there other than Kyrie. But we'll see if anyone can emulate Kyrie here out on the court. Maybe some of the guard play going on. Ooh, nice. Another defensive play by Perlow. Gets the steal. Nice lefty look. Falls out of bounds, going the other direction. Almost a save there by the Crown. A lot of pressure here on the court. Both teams bringing a lot of energy. Not much time left. They're trying to bring their A game. Unfortunately for MTA, a travel was called. Maybe one too many steps. A little overexcited out there. And the ball will be going the Ida Crown direction.
It's unfortunate that Perlow couldn't quite finish that because he got a good look, he got a nice steal, and he wasn't able to convert it, and that would have tied the game up. So, thankfully they are able to get another defensive stop, forcing that travel, and they're going to try and get another good look here on offense.
A huge shot for Ida Crown. Perlow, we were just talking about him, does a lot of the court, both sides of the ball, drains the three. Ida Crown crowd is thrilled right now, and they take the lead here in the fourth quarter.
MTA is going to look for a quick response here and not let this game get out of hand.
Three-point attempt, doesn't fall. Fight for the rebound, a jump ball is called.
And that was at least his third offensive rebound. He has really been getting after it, and you have no idea what that does for this type of game, that they have the chance to respond here, and they gain another possession this late in the game. It's really, basketball is a game of ups and downs and runs. So if they can get on their own run and respond to the run by Ida Crown, then they can really win this thing.
And we have under a minute and a half left. Tier 3 semifinals, MTA Ida Crown, 1-point game. Back and forth affair we have here. Swinging the ball around. Oh, tries to kiss it off the glass. Didn't fall right there for Hootie Weiss. Would have been a big shot to take the lead. Ida Crown now with a 1-point lead with just over a minute remaining. Each possession absolutely critical at this juncture. Not a lot of time, not a lot of action left to be played. Oh, very nicely done. Ida Crown, Max Baker doing it again, getting his own rebound, putting it in, making a 3-point game.
And Ida Crown has come storming back into this game. Just total unrelentless. And
I believe you were looking for the word relentless. Tremendous out there.
I really got stuck on my tongue there.
It happens sometimes. That's why we got two of us. We go back and forth. The entire Max Live crew helping us all out, make this game happen as it has. Both teams bringing their A game. We've seen a lot of good stuff here on the court, both in the morning. This game coming up, we've said a few times, Valley Torah and Magan David getting warmed up, stretching on the sidelines. 47.8 left on the clock. Ida Crown nursing their 3-point lead. Perlow coming up huge, a couple huge plays. MTA couldn't capitalize their last possession. We'll see what they come with here after the timeout. All right, both teams trying to set up a nice play here. We do have a shot clock of 27 seconds, so both teams will seemingly get a good opportunity to help out their team here with not a lot of time left. Huge coming off this timeout right here. Time winding down.
Andy, do you think that MTA goes for a 3-point, or do you think that they go for 2 and then a foul?
It's a good question. You can really see both types of that offense being shown. I might say, possibly with a little insight here from the sideline, that they might be trying to be set up for an open 3, because they do have some good shooters on their team, and look to tie the game with one shot.
Especially with this amount of time left in the game, it's not too big of a risk.
And there is that 3 called up by Coach Weisberg. Drains by Eitan Warburg. Very clutch. Tie game, 30 seconds. This crowd is electric.
And that was an unbelievable shot this late in the game. So much pressure, just converting with all that pressure on his shoulders.
I don't believe what I just saw. 20 seconds.
Believe
tie
it.
game.
Anything can happen here in Max Live.
Oh man, let's see how this plays out. Foul called on Boker. He drained the shot anyway, as if it wasn't even there. Boker looks like he's going to the line.
Well, Boker
Huge
missed
free
2
throws.
of his free throws that he took just a few minutes ago. So I would expect, knowing him and knowing his focus, that he will definitely hit one of these, because he's not going to miss all of his free throws, especially with this much pressure in the game.
And there is your latest prophecy, ladies and gentlemen. Not that much time left. We will see how Boker does here at the line. Huge free throws. The entire room earnestly looking at that line, seeing if he can capitalize. And it was a 1-and-1. Boker misses the free throw, much to the delight of all the MTA faithful in the house. Ball going MTA direction. 14 seconds. 43-43.
And Ida Crown, their body language needs to be better right now. The game is far from over. They can't be hanging their heads low. It's a tie game. They need to be energetic. They need to get back into them and out of their own heads because it's far from over. Let's see if Klein can hit this free throw.
And I believe there was a foul called on the Boker free throw, sending MTA to the line. Also another missed free throw right there by Chaim Weinstein. No one capitalizing. Timeout by Ida Crown. 10.3 on the clock. Tie game. Wow, this game is electric right now. There's so much going on.
And I think you're going to see the ball in Colum's hand. He's been very effective this game, so they're going to trust him with it, and they're going to see what decision he makes with the ball. They're going to definitely hold it for a few seconds, as there are only 10 seconds left in this game, so they're not going to risk with an early opportunity and give MTA time to respond. They're going to wait, and worst comes to worst, they miss, and they go to overtime. So there's actually a lot more pressure on MTA right now on defense than there is on Ida Crown on offense. They need to make sure not to turn over the ball and hold it for the last shot.
All right, 11.2 on the clock. Ida Crown coming out with the ball. We will see what they can come up with. Probably hold for one, as Yoni was saying. If they get it, might be another buzzer beater, adding to the madness that the month of March brings with the basketball world. College, high school, all over. Everyone excitedly watching these thrilling games down to the wire. Clock winding down. Crowds into it, counting with them. At the buzzer, the deep three put up. Hits the backboard, didn't fall for Amitai Kolam. A very good look. We're going to send it to a quick commercial. We'll be back with overtime. And in case you missed it, if you just tuned in, you are here at the perfect time. If you were watching before, it is still perfect timing. About to begin an exciting overtime matchup in our Tier 3 semifinal between Ida Crown and MTA.
And Andy, we thought that they would hold the ball for the last shot. They did, and Colum took it, and it was a good shot. It really was. It didn't go down, and now we're headed to overtime, and I think MTA has to be feeling very, very good about this right now because they finished off very strong. They crawled back into this game after the first half. So I would, just looking at body language, I think Ida Crown needs to get out of their heads a little bit, feel that confidence that they did when they came out of the gates in the first half. We've seen an incredible amount of energy from Perlo in the second half, and he's really lifted this team to, stay in it. So we're going to look from the other players we mentioned. Colum has also been incredibly into it, getting his hand on steals, creating offense. Let's see if they can start hitting some of the free throws they missed. They missed a lot of late-game free throws, and this would be a very different story if they converted on those. So they're going to look to continue to be aggressive, get to the line, and start converting on those.
Very well said. Some great analysis right there. MTA winning the tip, getting the first possession here of overtime. We play a 4-minute overtime here at Sarachek. So shorter than the average quarter, still a lot of time, plenty of opportunity for these teams to do damage and get that lead and ultimately the win that each one is looking for. MTA with a patient approach, but there was something there that Coach Weisberg thought could be tweaked, could be changed. He calls a quick timeout only 30 seconds into overtime.
Well, they're having a difficult time getting into their offense. They're trying to get it into the low post to Pfeiffer, but they weren't able to get it there, and they looked a little bit lost. So he's going to try and regroup and set up a play for them coming into this, from this timeout. And Ida Crown, the one issue they have not had this game so far is defense. Obviously, a couple times it's been a little bit, it's sagged a little bit, but for the most part, they've been airtight on defense. So that play was another example of that, and if they continue that through overtime, they're going to make it very difficult on MTA, just like they did in the first half.
And MTA is well aware of Ida Crown's defense and everything they've seen during this game. Coach emphasizing that overtime, from his experience, is all about heart,
It's all about the dedication. Who wants it more? They have to play with their heart and their mind in order to be successful here in overtime.
And Andy, that's why it's been a close game, because both teams have absolutely been playing with their entire heart. So, you know, at the end of it, it's going to be a ball game, and we're going to see who comes through with it.
Ooh, exciting play right there. MTA player Eitan Warburg right there with pressure on him, throws the ball off, feeling the pressure, drawing the foul, and going to the line for some free throws.
And that's a veteran move, because you see this all time in the NBA. I think James Harden, Kevin Durant, players like that really popularized it, where you swing your arms when you feel the pressure, and if you don't have a good shot, you'll be able to get to the free throw line. So he's going to take a couple of shots here.
And here is his first free throw. It is good, giving MTA the lead. We have 3:25 left, overtime, Tier 3 semifinals. A lot of action left to be played. Eitan Warburg at the line. Junior guard and forward for MTA. Hits the second free throw, and he was fouled on the three, so he will get 3 free throws. Looking to hit all 3 very calmly from the line.
And by the same token, you need to be careful not to foul behind the three-point line. No one here is Ray Allen, so you know you'd rather give up a difficult three-point shot than foul unnecessarily from that far and give someone 3 opportunities at the line.
And he calmly hits the third as well. Very clutch free throws from the junior guard and forward right there. 3-point lead, 3:15 left in overtime.
And Booker is seeing a double every time he touches the ball.
And going into this overtime, everything is amplified, intensified. Everyone, is bringing their all, knowing there's not a lot of time left because they have this extra 4 minutes to play here. But all they need is any sort of lead, and they will get that W back to their hometown.
And right now, this gym is standing room only, as Colum takes an ill-advised shot.
Followed by, there was great defense by MTA, forcing him into that shot. He was forced to throw the 3 up at the last seconds. Ida Crown bringing some pressure. MTA not bothered by it, but a little miscommunication there on the offense. Quick to, console each other, make sure everyone knows we'll get on the same page moving forward.
And, that's the most important part. You've seen incredible camaraderie, sportsmanship on both teams, between both teams, and that trumps everything.
All right, nice patient offense here by Ida Crown. Knowing plenty of time on the clock, no need to rush. Coleman Boker getting some passing there. Sending it outside for the 3, it's good! A huge shot for Ida Crown right there. 3-pointer. We have a tie game.
Unbelievable. These teams really fighting to the end to make this game possible for a win, to get to the Tier 3 championship game.
MTA down low, doesn't fall. Ida Crown Hebrew Academy with the board, and they get the foul. And we have Max Baker, senior point guard, going to the line here for a 1-and-1. Missed the free throw, but big presence down low. A huge play by Ryan Boker to put that back in.
That was humongous. To get an offensive rebound off of the free throw and get an easy layup, that's exactly what they need right now, putting the pressure on MTA.
Oh boy, 1 minute, 30 seconds left here in overtime. A clutch layup right there for MTA. That was Hootie Weiss, the junior guard, tying the game.
That was unreal. He slipped right past the defense and for a gorgeous layup.
As good as this game has been throughout, I think they have upped their game here for this overtime. Very solid possessions, great ball movement, clutch shots. A lot to be seen here.
It's funny because it was a game of halves, right? The first half, Ida Crown was it was their game. Second half, it was MTA's game. And now it kind of came together, and both are equally have a part in this game. They're both trying to dictate in the best way they can.
Ida Crown looking to set something up. 1 minute on the clock in overtime.
That has been relentless. Thought I'd circle back to that word again. Do it right.
And a foul was called. 2 free throws coming for Ida Crown as that was MTA's 10th foul. Huge free throws. As this game gets later and later and there is less time in overtime, each possession gets more and more important. Each free throw is essential.
And Ida Crown really fixing the issues they had at the end of the second half with free throws, and they've been knocking them down in overtime, which is, you know, you're never going to be perfect, but if you can improve on some of your imperfections throughout the game, then that's the way this game is played. Perfection isn't the goal, improvement is.
Very articulately said right here as Jordan Bendenson hits both free throws, giving Ida Crown an important 2-point lead with less than a minute remaining here in overtime. Loose ball, foul. Refs trying to confirm which player is on, make sure everything is set here. MTA going to the free throw line here. They need to capitalize as well. These free throws are unbelievably important. Hootie Weiss calmly drains the first one.
And he's been very effective in overtime so far, looking to continue that trend.
Misses the second. Fight for the rebound. Foul called on Gabe Isaacs. Wasn't thrilled about it. It's a big call, as now Ida Crown will be going for 2 free throws. MTA already has 10 fouls, and the way they do it here in this high school ball is from the 10th foul, they get 2 free throws for every foul called. 7 being a 1-and-1 and 10 being 2 shots for the bonus.
Let's see if they can continue their trend of hitting free throws during overtime here. And the crowd is really getting into it. It's really loud in here. Only standing room so far, as these teams who are known for their spirited fan bases are really duking it out.
And Amitai Kolam, the senior guard, hits the first free throw, giving them a 2-point lead. Coach Bolden calling a timeout, looking to plan for after this free throw and what they're going to set up on defense. We saw before, Yoni, MTA out of the timeout, Coach Weisberg, instead of going for, you know, an easy bucket taken to the lane and then the foul, instead they went for the 3-point opportunity, and it paid off because it was drained from the left corner. What do you think MTA might try to pull similar strings when they get the ball after the next free throw?
It really, you know, I wouldn't be surprised by it. Personally, I tend to play things safe. It's safer to tie it up, get an easy shot, but they're feeling confident. You can tell they're feeling energized. They have their mojo going, so they may decide to go for the lead. Only you're automatically giving the team a response, whereas if you tie it up and get an easy shot, it doesn't really change the flow of the game that way. So I have a feeling I would personally look for an easy look, but they've been feeling it, so they may decide to go for the jugular over here.
And before we see that happen, we will head back to the free throw line where Amitai Kolam gets ready for his second free throw. .52 seconds before we have action. The Tier 1 semifinal. Valley Torah looking pumped on their sideline with some shifty moves, some dance moves. Missed the free throw. Fight for the rebound. Jump ball. Staying with Ida Crown, much to the delight of everyone from Chicago.
That was huge. Getting that jump ball. You know, you save yourself from having to deal with MTA's response, because you're just wasting more time on the clock, and you have the chance to increase your lead.
And again, that was Perlow with his effort out there and his constant enthusiasm and energy, who fought for that rebound, and because they had the possession now, the ball maintained in their direction.
And you see them wasting as much time as possible. They're trying to maintain this lead. They're not going to risk it and give MTA a chance to crawl back in.
30 seconds on the clock. Overtime, Tier 3 semis. 2-point lead. Shot clock winding down. 3-point attempt. Front rim. Didn't fall. Fight for the rebound. Out of bounds called, going MTA direction. Wow. This game is unreal.
So now, I think now the clear answer, oh man, actually, I'm not sure.
Honestly,
tough whether you go for the win
it's
here or
hard.
not.
It's hard to say what we're about to see. There's so much pressure on the line. They really have brought effort all game, and Coach Weisberg is well aware of that. Wisely calls the timeout to set up a play here, pulls out his nice board, getting ready to set something up.
Their game so far hasn't been the three-point ball. That is not how they stayed in this game. So I'd be surprised if they decide to take that risk right now. I think they're going to go for look for an easier look. If it happens to be a three, then they will. But they obviously do not need the three.
Yeah, I've been told, Coach, emphasizing that, they're only down 2 right here. 8.7 on the clock. Plenty of time to get a good look. They do not need a miracle three-point shot.
It's a situation of you only have 10 seconds, less than 10 seconds, so you get the best available shot. I think if it's a three-point shot, they'll take it, and if it's a two-point shot, then they'll take that. I don't know if that they're going to specifically talk about which they prefer, because it's not about what they prefer, it's about what the best available option.
Definitely agree with that. We will see how Coach can come up and create their best available option. Maybe a couple pick and rolls, some screens, something on the offensive side here, something they've been working on maybe in practice here in this very same gym.
MTA hasn't been as good on these timeouts, out-of-bounds plays so far because they haven't been as good in their sets. They've gotten on the break. They like creating offense this way. Out-of-ground has been extremely good out-of-bounds with their out-of-bounds plays and their timeouts.
And Ryan Boker here pressuring the ball. They got their big man, all 6'5" of him, trying to get in the face on the inbounds play, making it as difficult as possible for MTA.
Interesting because it does take him away from rim protection by the basket. They prefer...
And after a few seconds of Chaim Weinstein struggling to find a play to inbound and a player to hit up with the pass, Coach Weisberg wisely calls another timeout now that they saw what Ida Crown is cooking up on the defensive front.
It's interesting. I don't think they're going to have Boker defend the inbounds play again. I really don't. I think they're going to want him by the rim so he can protect the rim and try and prevent an easy layup, as opposed to just making it difficult to get the ball in, because the ball will get in at some point, and he's not going to be where they want him to be defensively.
And yeah, and I'm told on that note regarding Ida Crown's defense, they are going to look to have their hands up and pressure them, but not foul. You foul them, it will be their 10th foul, and they will get at least an automatic 2 free throws. So the coach from the Ida Crown sideline was encouraging them, imploring them not to foul, ensuring that MTA does not get the free opportunities from the charity stripe. .7 left, overtime, Tier 3 semifinals, Ida Crown, MTA, Chicago, New York, 51-49.
Los Angeles, cities that we can name.
Yoni, let's focus right here. Oh, man. And Yoni was right again. Boker is not defending the inbound. He is on, 5. MTA running out of time. Takes it down low. Oh, the bucket! This game is going to double overtime. The crowd is enthused. Wow, this room is absolutely electric. I believe that was Eitan Pfeiffer, the junior guard. We'll send it to a quick commercial break, and we will be back with double overtime. And we're live. Double overtime. Another 4 minutes on the clock in the never-ending feud between Ida Crown and MTA. During that quick commercial break, I was told by one of Max Live's finest, Jack Gandrow, that 2 years ago, these teams faced off against each other also in the Sarachek tournament, and that game went to triple overtime. So I don't know if we'll see another one of those quite as long, but these teams clearly have, a rivalry going between them as they bring their A game here in Sarachek.
And these players look more and more energized as the game goes on. They don't look tired. They don't look like they're going to give give up. They look like they're going to keep it going and keep the intensity up.
And Boker won that tip. Ida Crown starting with the ball. Perlow swings it out wide. Colum with the three. It's good.
Unbelievable shot under pressure.
Veteran senior guard. Nice passing by MTA. Finding Chaim Weinstein down low, making it a 1-point game. 3:25 left in overtime.
I think those two plays summarize the story of the game totally. You have Ida Crown bring it inside, kick it out for a three, and then you have Chaim and his intensity, his athleticism, his aggression, bring it in close to the hoop. And if those teams continue to play like that,
Perlow hits the three! I see a pattern here. Perlow coming up huge. Ida Crown increasing their lead to 4. MTA looking to respond. Colum with the defense comes up with the steal.
He's been doing that the entire game. He just snatched that one out of midair.
I feel like I'm having a little deja vu right here. Perlow running into a teammate, a little out of control. Doesn't fall that time. Ball going MTA direction.
And MTA is going to refocus here, and they're going to look to score and then get back on defense in the way they need to, because they've given up 2 threes right now. So they're going to have to, get back to perimeter defense and continue to, struggle and fight back into this game as there's a foul on the other end.
Foul on the Ida Crown and MTA going to the line. Eitan Warburg, one of their key contributors here at the tournament and all season long. Hits the free throw, 3-point game, 2:44 in double overtime. Another huge free throw. And he drains it as if he was, shooting in his driveway at home. 2-point game.
And these guys continue to sprint, to hustle, to dive on the floor. I'm tired just watching.
It is unbelievable.
I'm exhausted.
Double overtime game, a thriller here at the Max Stern Athletic Center.
Double on Boker, kicks it out.
And don't even worry. Don't think that no matter how this game, when this game ends, if this game ends, that we will be done here. We have games all afternoon going into the evening. Boker with a good look, didn't fall. MTA pushing the other direction. I believe that was a foul called on Max Baker right there, right near the sideline, putting MTA back at the line. Hootie Weiss, who had some big free throws before, a junior guard with another opportunity here.
This is how you win games. It's not about the flashy things. It's not about the buzzer beaters. It's about hitting these free throws and being aggressive towards the hoop.
And he hits the first. He's getting very good free throw practice out there and making it pay for his team. Putting it in for his team. And I believe Max Baker was called for that last foul. He now has 4 in the game. And if he gets one more, he will have to watch from the sideline in double overtime. That happens sometimes. You're in these long games, overtime, double overtime. They go on. There are fouls called. Players, can only foul up to 5 times, and then they have to sit. So, that's not a surprise to hear.
And it's a really delicate balance because you want the aggression. And when you are worried about fouling out, you naturally don't give it.
Colum with the 3.
Unbelievable, these guys, under pressure. And they need to make sure that I'd say it's almost better to foul out and be aggressive and not let up than to, relax, especially in this type of game.
Meisels answers right back.
Dang,
I don't
good.
believe this. Unbelievable. I can't even take this on a different conversation because the action's just drawing me back in every time.
Andy, I can't tell you how many times I've been interrupted by basketball.
Ida Crown 60, MTA 60, double overtime, 118. Perlow called for the travel, MTA ball. Oh my goodness, what do we have here? This is unreal.
We have here a basketball game, Andy.
Thank you. Simple and to the point.
MTA looking for their first lead in a while, actually. They've been kind of fighting back through overtime. The end of the second half So it'd be nice to see them take their first lead.
Oh, again, Hootie Weiss.
Hootie Weiss has been unbelievable in overtime. He's really been making it happen.
A junior guard playing like a senior veteran, coming up incredibly clutch for MTA.
And this is their first lead in a long time. And I really don't think they're going to allow Ida Crown to get back in this when they finally have the opportunity to not be on their heels and not be clawing back. They're going to want to maintain this, obviously.
All right, MTA 62, Ida Crown 60, 52.1 on the clock, double overtime, Tier 3 semifinal. Both teams bringing their A game for the extended game. Not just once, this is the second extension, double overtime. You don't see that very often on any level. An important timeout called. We will see how they come back. We had Valley Toro bringing out their dance moves earlier, looking ready as the 2 seed for their next semifinal game. Mag and David on the other sideline, bringing their Brooklyn game here to Max Stern Athletic Center. They were actually the Yeshiva League champions this year, looking to add another, impressive feat to their resume.
And you know how important safety is to us, right?
Of course.
I would suggest everyone viewing at home to strap in because this is going to be a wild one.
We're in for a crazy ride here. 40 seconds, 2 points, double overtime. And Colum once again with the big bucket.
And he has gotten more confident under pressure. There is ice blood in his veins. These players are so much less jittery now than they were in the beginning of the game. It's unbelievable. They've only gotten more comfortable.
We have seen so much going on here. One part MTA was the better team, one part Ida Crown was the better team. Both bringing their A game, both hitting huge shots. We're now in double overtime, 62-62, 18.4 left. Coach Weisberg again with the timeout. Got to set up something. Maybe one more play. They can wind this clock down. They don't need to give the opposition here a second opportunity.
I mean, it's a difficult situation. It's ideal, but it's also difficult because they haven't thrived this game from out of timeout and with lots of time. They've thrived when it's their quick decisions and quick plays. So holding the ball and dribbling out for a few seconds left isn't the ideal for their playing style, and it is ideal for Ida Crown to load up their defense, get Boker, get their big men, get their athleticism in the way of MTA where they're lacking a little bit. So it should be very interesting to see how it's not ideal for them, but it is an ideal situation for them, both at once.
Boker, Colum, Perlo going up here. Meisels, Warburg, Hootie Weiss, everyone. All the stars from this game trying to bring their A game for the last 18 seconds.
We have seen everyone on this team take responsibility for their team's success. I wouldn't be surprised to see Hootie Weiss and Chaim Weinstein touch the ball. Of course, Pfeiffer will be involved in the play because those three have really taken over these past few minutes.
All right, we'll see how this pans out. 18.4 on the clock. Double overtime. MTA with the ball. Perlo up top defending him. No foul. You don't want to foul here. You don't want to give him some free opportunities. Down to 5 seconds. At the buzzer. It doesn't fall. Shlomo Meisels couldn't get it to fall in double overtime. And would you believe it? Triple overtime.
I don't believe it, Andy.
I don't believe it either, but you got to believe. As a Mets fan, you got to believe. We're going to go to a quick commercial, and we will be back with triple overtime. We will ensure everything is under order here with the referees. There's a little bit of communication down there just to ensure that we are in fact going to triple overtime, and there was no whistle blown right before. I believe I spoke a little too quickly. Shot clock violation. Ball will be going the other way with only half a second on the clock.
And that's really not a lot of time. However, they have been shooting extremely well from three, so this does benefit. This is not an ideal situation, but it's almost the opposite of what MTA had. And And we saw that MTA, it wasn't the ideal situation for their playing style, even though it was, in theory, an ideal situation. Here it's the opposite. They've been shooting well from the three, and they're going to have a chance at a Hail Mary over here. I assume they're going to look to get it to Perlo or Colum, who have been very good, even though Colum seems to be inbounding, which is a little bit more of a strange option.
And wherever this ball goes, you know they're putting it up the second. It touches their hands. Length of the court, falls well short. We will go to a commercial, and we will be back with triple overtime in just a minute. And we're back. Triple overtime. I don't believe it. Yodi doesn't believe it. The crowd doesn't believe it. Everyone is pumped. MTA looking, ready, already out there. Ida Crown joining us now. 4 minutes. Let's do this.
It's really about suspending your disbelief at this point. We're all in disbelief. Suspend it for the next 4 minutes so that you can enjoy this game. And all these players, they look cool, calm, collected. We saw some negative body language from Ida Crown a little bit earlier. It's gone. It's totally gone. You can see they're brimming with confidence. They're ready for this game. And MTA has had their heads up, and they've been looking energized, since the first.
You compare Yoni and me to the 10 players on the court, and we are definitely the most nervous and, the most anxiety prone right now of the 12 of us.
But that back rub you're giving me feels amazing.
4 minutes, triple overtime. 62-62.
And the size disparity, once again is apparent. Chaim Weinstein is one of MTA's more athletic players, so he's going to take the tip off. But clearly Boker has the size advantage here, and he's also very athletic.
And these players are definitely familiar with the opposition there at the tip-off, as this is the way the game began, if I'm not mistaken. And, we've had a couple overtimes, more tip-offs, more action, more excitement. Ball goes out of bounds. Ref wasn't sure, calls another jump ball. It's as if the ref heard me discussing the tip-off and was like, you know what, I'll one-up that. I'll give you another tip-off.
And that's really the story of this game. We like more. We want more.
Give us more. More action, more excitement, more enthusiasm in this gym.
As Usher once said, if you really want more, take it up higher. Get on the floor.
Wise words from Yoni and Usher, and Ida Crown wins the tip, quickly pushes it in, decent look, draws the foul. How about that, Yoni? 7 seconds off the clock. They win the tip, they push it right away. Max Baker, senior guard, going to the line for two.
That's just like Mike D'Antoni's offense, 7 seconds or less.
And the action is flying, the quotes are flying, the enthusiasm is off the walls right now. Wow.
The more excited I get, the more quotes I think of.
Calmly hits the first.
And once again, Ida Crown has improved on their free throw shooting since that second half, and they've been stellar in overtime. They're feeling confident. They're hitting their free throws, which is extremely important. Both teams have been.
Baker misses the second, splits the pair. Ida Crown milking their 1 point lead. 3:45, triple overtime. And as if it is just in practice, that's how easy it looked for Eitan Pfeiffer right there.
When you load up and you have a lot of pressure, you risk players sneaking by and having a good look, which is what happened there.
MTA up one. Colum with a good look, rim out.
And he hit that shot just before, a couple plays ago, and it went in, so it was another good look, but couldn't quite get it to fall.
Back the other direction. Pfeiffer again. 2 possessions in a row, 4 straight points. MTA up 3, and Ida Crown and Coach Bolden calling a timeout.
And not a surprise that Ida Crown coach would call a timeout there. They didn't have the energy that you'd want coming out of this overtime, giving up 2 pretty easy looks to Pfeiffer, who darted right to the basket when he had the chance. So they're going to look to tighten up their defense.
And as we know, 4 minutes in these overtime is a lot of time. A lot can happen. but also the momentum swings. When one team gets rolling, it is so critical for the other team to get back on track and try to stymie that a little bit. Wise timeout right there.
He had no choice but to take that timeout. Absolutely no choice. There's not a single coach out there who wouldn't take that timeout, and his out-of-crown players have been responsive to criticism and to adversity this entire game. So I won't be surprised if they come back with a nice set, a nice play, and score pretty quickly here.
And 2 years ago, Shlomo Weisberg, MTA coach, also was in that Sarachek I referenced before. A triple overtime thriller 2 years ago against the same Ida Crown team. Different players, same school, also triple overtime, also here. MTA was defeated in that, looking to get on the better side here. And with the 4 consecutive points, they're off to a good start here. And I'm told by the sideline reporters, always very quick with the insights, that MTA will look to get the ball out of Boker's hands. They figure that he is their main guy right now. They will try to box out and keep it away from him. They will make someone else beat them, if at all. Swinging the ball around, Ida Crown, Hebrew Academy, hailing from Chicago, Illinois. And although MTA might have wanted to stop Boker, easier said than done when you have that force on the court.
And they haven't gone to Boker in a while, so it's a good look. It's a good balance of outside shots and getting it inside as Perlo comes up with the steal.
Two of the bigger players in the recent minutes. Pfeiffer from MTA, Perlo from Ida Crown. Perlo winning that battle, stripping Pfeiffer as he was pushing the ball, sending the ball Ida Crown direction. Max Baker bringing the ball up, sending it to Colum. We'll see what Colum has in store. Boker to Baker, B to B. Huge bucket, huge pass, huge play.
Beautiful teamwork. No one trying to take the load too much.
Pfeiffer looking for another key bucket. A little off with the 3, hits the side of the backboard. Ball going Ida Crown direction.
And
2-10, triple overtime.
And this game changed a little bit because when it's a difference between 2 or 3 points, you're looking between ties. Now it's a 1-point game in either direction, so if they continue to exchange 2-pointers, we're going to be looking at game winners versus game tiers to look at the end of this overtime.
And I believe senior guard Chaim Weinstein called for a little elbow right there, which is a bit costly at this juncture. We've said before there have been a lot of fouls. That happens with a really long game, a lot of action. So now we have Ryan Boker going to the line for some huge free throws.
Chaim Weinstein has had one of the toughest matchups this game. He's incredibly undersized compared to Boker. So he's been fighting, and when you're aggressive and you're not, you give up size, sometimes you're going to get called for a foul with that extra aggression, which he just did. But he hasn't been backing down the entire game.
Ryan Boker misses both free throws. Very important. Only a 1-point lead. They did not increase it. 1:45. MTA with the ball. Pfeiffer with the spin. And he hits it. Nothing but net. A beautiful move.
Pfeiffer has really come out to play in these overtimes. Boker and Chaim battling it down. They continue to battle it down.
Oh, huge. Ryan Boker down low, making his brother Kevin from the YU team proud. Ida Crown up 1.
He had a chip on his shoulder because of those missed free throws, and he made it up right away.
Back to Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer versus Boker. Boker wins this one. Stuffs it. Going back Ida Crown direction. Boker once again, nothing but net. I don't even know what to say at this point.
And Boker's been waiting for his opportunity the entire game.
Ida Crown up 3, almost forced the steal. Ball is being fought for, foul. Oh, huge call. Huge for MTA. They desperately needed something there as it was very close to being a turnover. And we were just talking about him a second ago. MTA, number 5, senior Chaim Weinstein going to the line for probably the biggest free throws of the game.
He wants to keep this as close as possible. Because if he misses this and they come back and score, it's a 2-possession game.
Rattles around the rim, falls in. A huge roll, huge break right there for MTA. Calmly hits the second. Timeout, Ida Crown. Ida Crown 71, MTA 70. 35.4, triple overtime. Oh boy, huge timeout, huge play. Everything at this point absolutely integral for the results of this game.
And now Ida Crown is deciding whether they're going to go for 2, they send it to a 3-point game, or they're going to put it out of reach with a 3. The difference between a 1-possession and 2-possession game is huge here, especially because they already have the lead. So if they have enough confidence in their defense, I would not be surprised to see them go for a 3 to put it out of reach and take some pressure off of themselves.
And we saw them do that earlier, trying to get that big 3. We'll see if they try to do that again. Players getting back on the court. Crowd turning back to the court themselves. 71-70.
Obviously, they're going to need to get a stop here before that possibility is even open.
Triple overtime. 35.4 on the clock. Colum inbounding. Seems to be one of the more common inbounders. They like the ball in his hands. Let's see if he can find Boker down low. Boker up top. Quickly gets the ball half court. Past half court. Fouled by MTA, knowing they need a little help from the charity stripe here, hoping Ida Crown does not maximize their opportunity.
If this was they didn't have a choice but to stop the clock, but they're a little bit concerned right now because Ida Crown has definitely been hitting their free throws, especially Max Baker in overtime. So, they're not feeling too good about this. Maybe it would be different if it was the second half.
Possibly a little jinx. I don't know if I believe in those myself, but Max Baker misses the first. This second one will be unbelievably important, trying to give them a 2-point lead, ensuring that if MTA gets a bucket, it will at least require another overtime. Hits the second. 72-70 Ida Crown, 25 seconds, triple overtime. Nearly forcing a turnover from Ida Crown. Ida Crown over on the MTA. Let's see.
MTA has been close to turning over a couple times in the past few minutes, so they're going to have to be real careful.
Pfeiffer down low. Boker stuffs him, but a foul is called.
Controversial call, very controversial. A lot of mixed reactions so far in Max Stadium.
It's a tough situation. Those plays are so neck and neck. One little movement here or there, a little bit of arm possibly. I'm sure the ref was so close, saw something there to call that foul. MTA thrilled, Ida Crown less so. 7.6, biggest free throws of the day.
It looked to me like the block was up top and there was contact below. I think that's what the call was. Very good call in my opinion.
Pfeiffer hits the first. 7.6.
Pfeiffer has to hit this to keep them in it.
Hits the second.
Ice.
Tie game, 7.6. Time out.
Unreal. These players have not come into the pressure. They have embraced it and absolutely overachieved in anyone's expectations here.
We have seen player after player step up. Pfeiffer, Hootie Weiss, Weinstein, Parlo, Boker, Colum. I can go all out and name like every guy that's been on this court. They've all brought their A game. They all came to play. They all want to go to the Tier 3 finals occurring tomorrow.
You know what, Andy? I don't even think they're thinking about Tier 3 finals. I don't even think it's on their mind. Right now they're playing for glory, they're playing for one another, and they're playing to win this game.
Playing for their school, playing for their town.
What towns are they from, Andy? Can you remind us?
We went over this. Triple overtime, 7.6. Anything is possible. There could be a game winner. There could be a foul. It could go to a 4th overtime.
Chicago, Illinois, New York City, New York.
Very well said. And we hear the horn. Players will have to get back on the court. Coaches will have to say their final words.
It's truly March Madness over here. Absolutely. This is the epitome of it.
Ida Crown looking to feed Boker as they've been doing most of the game. MTA trying to avoid the foul at all costs. You don't want to give Ida Crown a free opportunity here.
And Ida Crown is in a tough situation because they need to advance the ball all the way up the court before they even have a chance to take a shot.
Let's look for Boker, see if they can get it to him, as was their play call. Time winding down. Colum with the look at the buzzer. Rim out. Oh my goodness. We will send it to a quick commercial break and we will be back for a 4th overtime. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Max Stern Athletic Center. You're watching here on MaxLive.com. We bring you Sarachek, Tier 3 semifinals. Ida Crown, MTA, 72-72. A familiar place with 4 minutes on the clock. I feel like I've seen this before. Possibly even 3 times. This is the 4th overtime. I don't even know the last time if that's ever happened before. I know these teams played 2 years ago to a triple overtime game. This one is one past that. They have one up that. Here in the gym, the scoreboard, period number 8.
Upping the ante every year here. Every single year.
We are in the month of March. We have madness here. We have madness in college. So much basketball, so much good times. Everyone tuned in right now to see how this duel, this showdown, this match of the tournament plays out.
You know, Andy, I have a kid's birthday in like 10 years that I'd like to go to.
You might have to cancel that. I don't know if this game will end by then. I don't even know if the period can get to double digits. We might have a few more. There might be a problem. This room is action-packed.
The Valley Torah game was supposed to start almost an hour ago. Pretty unbelievable.
4th overtime, getting ready for the tip-off, ensuring the court is ready. Referees about to throw the ball into the air, and here we are underway.
I would say the most important part of this overtime is
scoring more points than the opposition.
That's true, Andy. Beautiful block by Heim. Gorgeous. But I'd say it's really controlling the ball, because we saw as they're getting tired, as the game wears on, a couple more turnovers, a little bit more sloppy play, especially that last overtime. So I think the team who controls the ball a little bit better will come out with the win in this game.
Ida Crown finding Boker down low. Easily lays it in, giving them the first lead of the 4th overtime.
And that might be some of the, the tired legs sitting in there. There was a little bit of a defensive miscommunication. He was wide open for that layup.
Despite the tired legs, Ida Crown still bringing the defensive pressure, forcing MTA to beat them. Weinstein with a good look, ready to do just that. Rims out, Ida Crown with the board, and Amitai Kolam called for a travel. Ball staying with MTA. 3:26 on the clock. 4th overtime. I don't even know if clock matters at this point. It hasn't seemed to matter, as time and time again these teams just stay even. Ida Crown pushing. Finding Porlo down low. Oh, very nearly getting an and one. Instead called for a travel. Took one too many steps.
Perlo has been just unreal this entire game, and like I said, it's this game is coming down to be a little bit sloppy. You're seeing some traveling. You're seeing some, some bad plays, but it's just because they're tired and there's so much pressure at this point. So look to see that cleaned up as the game goes on. Gorgeous pass.
Pfeiffer to Weinstein, draws the foul. Weinstein going to the line for 2. Coach Weisberg from the sideline, emphasizing to his guys, MTA should just continue to have fun. This tournament is all about having a good time, connecting with other schools, bringing the enthusiasm, bringing your all to the Sarachek tournament, which they have certainly done, and they will try to run their offense and have a good time for the last 3:07 of this overtime and whatever time is after this. I don't even know when this game is ending, if it's ending. Weinstein at the line, sinks both.
Wow.
Clearly not focusing on the juncture of the game, hitting the free throws extremely calmly. Tie game, 3 minutes left.
He has been huge this game, and he is a familiar face in the YU gym throughout the week, always working on his game, always practicing, working to get better as a player and as a teammate.
Boker down low, sends it out. Benditson with the look, didn't fall. Ida Crown retaining possession. 74, 2.5 on the clock. Quadruple overtime. Haven't said that word in a long time. Boker with the fadeaway, didn't fall. Foul is called, going the other direction. I believe MTA will get 2 free throws.
And it looks like it's going to be Hootie Weiss at the line, and he has really been converting on these free throws. Very dangerous player for Ida Crown to foul. So he's going to look to convert on these and, give MTA a 2-point lead.
Hootie Weiss at the line has been in his fair share of these moments. High intensity, high pressure. All game he's been that guy, as well as Pfeiffer and some of his teammates, but he's found himself in this situation. Unfortunately for MTA, misses the first. We'll see if he can capitalize on the second.
But right away, his teammates come over to give him encouragement, and that's what this is about.
Drains the second.
And that encouragement helped to hit that next one.
Perlow takes it down low, keeping that aggressive nature on the court, drawing the foul on Chaim Weinstein. MTA up 1. Perlow going to the line for Ida Crown. 2:24 in quadruple overtime.
Andy, what overtime is this? I forgot.
If only you were listening, this is quadruple overtime. I believe that means the 4th overtime.
Got it.
I don't say it often until today.
Have you ever said it?
I don't know. Perlow at the line. Huge free throws. Can't capitalize. MTA up 1. MTA with the lead, looking calm out there, trying to set something up. Outside shot, doesn't fall. Big rebound down low by Colum. Not only is he a scorer, he seems to be wherever Ida Crown needs him, whenever they need him.
Colum has been amazing this entire game. Defensively, has maybe even outshined his stellar offense.
Colum to Boker, Boker to Colum, Colum for the 3.
Perlow with the offensive rebound, and you're hearing the same names over and over again. Everyone has been contributing.
Oh, Colum with a great look all the way to the hoop, rim out. Fight for the ball, jump ball called.
And Colum just missed, and he only missed that because of tired legs. He's been exerting 100% the entire game. Sometimes you miss when you feel a little bit tired.
I almost want to call a timeout for the booth just to give the players a break on the court. They are giving it their all. Each overtime is 4 minutes. This is the 4th overtime. So they have seen just about, if my math is correct, 15 minutes of extra time on this court in this one game. Pfeiffer.
And Pfeiffer has been making great decisions this entire game. They're trusting him to make the right choice with the ball.
Loose ball going the other way.
Wow.
Oh, stripped by Pfeiffer. We were just talking about his big plays. He does it again, stripping Baker. Foul on Perlow. Pfeiffer going to the line.
Wow, and that's redemption. There's no other word but redemption for that.
And I was just informed, big news. Perlow, 24. Ezra Perlow, Ida Crown. If I'm not mistaken, that was his 5th foul, and he will have to watch the remainder of this game from the bench.
Andy, like you mentioned, you expect it. It's standard in the 4th overtime to see that. These guys have been playing, not holding anything back in the entire game. You're going to accumulate fouls, and they've done a good job about being smart about their fouling. Haven't seen dumb fouls this entire game, and sometimes it happens. And he's going to take a rest and trust his teammates to pick up the slack.
And we will need to see Ida Crown continue that tenacity that Perlow brings to his team. He will watch the remaining 103, if not more, from the bench.
And that Pfeiffer play was just unreal.
There have been so many unreal plays, I couldn't even recap him for you.
We're going to have to go over our notes later. Recap a little bit.
Pfeiffer hitting the first. See if he hits this, we have a 3-point game. Gets the roll, it all seems to be working for Pfeiffer right now. He's a man on a mission on this court. Under a minute remaining, quadruple overtime. 77-74, MTA in the lead. Boker, foul down low. Each and every whistle brings half the room into joy, half the room into tears. Unbelievable how this crowd is into it. And I was just informed, Chaim Weinstein fouled out as well. One key player on each team. Perlow, Ida Crown, Weinstein, MTA will have to watch the remainder from the bench.
And they're really going to miss his presence, as Ida Crown is going to miss Perlow's presence. I don't know if they have another player who can match up against Boker, even close to what Chaim was doing on that side of it, just because Boker is a phenom in his size and his skill. So we're going to see if he can make some free throws here. He's been struggling from the line in overtime.
Boker at the line. Hits both. 1-point game. Ref calls the whistle, gives the players a chance to clear, get some space. MTA 1-point lead, 50 seconds here in 4th overtime. One key player on each team already fouled out. We will see how this plays out. Ida Crown bringing the pressure.
And Boker really hitting those free throws when they need them most. They absolutely needed them. And he hit them to let them out. It's a 3-on-1.
Crosses half court. Pfeiffer with the ball. Swings it outside. Back to Pfeiffer. 3-pointer. It's good. Pfeiffer does it again. Hits the 3. MTA up 4. Not that much time left. We'll see what Coleman Boker have in stock. Deep 3. Nothing but air. Out of bounds, ball going MTA direction, and the bench is absolutely ecstatic.
And Pfeiffer has just risen and totally taken over this game in overtime.
And a lot of this room, not only the MTA bench, but the MTA faithful, the Sarachek faithful, people who just like watching good basketball. Much of this room chanting MVP. To the junior from MTA, Eitan Pfeiffer.
And that was just humongous. This is the biggest lead that they've had in a long time. Obviously, it's been very, very close, but it's important to note it's a 2-possession game. So with 15 seconds left on the clock, 2 possessions is actually quite a challenge to overcome. Obviously, Ida Crown has it well within their means as they have 3-point shooting on the floor. But they're going to have to really score quickly.
And MTA has the ball. Ida Crown needs to get that 2 possessions in order to have a chance here. Look to see a lot of pressure, hounding defense likely from Ida Crown trying to force that turnover, likely fouling an MTA player, sending him to the line.
Absolutely. I think we're not going to be surprised to see a foul here if they can't get a turnover within maybe 2, 3, 4 seconds.
And if you're Ida Crown, you might want to avoid Pfeiffer and Hootie Weiss. Those guys have been coming up big all game from the free throw line, all around the court, time and time again. Let's see what Coach Bolden has in stock for the defense. 15.3, 4th overtime.
Boker guarding the inbound, of course, with those long arms to try and disturb the pass.
They get the ball in. Quick foul. Sending Eitan Warburg to the line. Now, Eitan Warburg has been a big contributor to MTA all season long. A junior, but one of their statistics leaders, one of their points leaders, haven't had as much of an impact tonight as some of his other players have stepped up. But he has been in his fair share of moments, so he is definitely someone that MTA would feel comfortable with having at the line in this opportunity.
We saw the quick foul just as we suspected. 14 seconds. It's going to be important to hit these free throws to put the game out of reach.
Let's see, Eitan Warburg misses the first. Ida Crown taking that chance. Let's see what they do. MTA not even going for the rebound, getting all of their players outside of the key, getting ready to set up defense. Because they know Ida Crown will push it and they will be in a hurry. Hits the second, 5-point game, 14 seconds on the clock. Pfeiffer up top on D. Three-pointer is up, falls short. Rebound for MTA. Clock winding down. Foul called. 4.7. Fourth overtime. MTA is celebrating.
Hard-fought game. Absolutely hard-fought game. MTA, rightfully so, is absolutely ecstatic that they pulled this through.
Amitai Kolam bringing his heart, his devotion, his energy, his senior presence to Ida Crown, just fouled out with his fifth foul. Pfeiffer hits the first. Winner of this game looking like MTA with not much time left. 11:30 a.m. tomorrow. Tier 3 final against Barron from Houston, Texas. Get ready. MTA up 7. 4.7 on the clock. Last shot of the game. Hits the long three. Of course he did. It wasn't enough to go to a fourth overtime. We needed a buzzer beater. Unfortunately for Ida Crown, too little, too late. MTA pulls this one out. 83-79. Fourth overtime. We will go to a quick commercial break. We'll be back with the postgame.
In Yeshiva University, I've been lucky to be on both the volleyball and the basketball teams. Being on the team has a huge effect on my academic life. The same way that I know I can push myself in athletics, I know I can push myself in academics. Going to shiurim at night instead of during the day, or going to them during the day when I've practiced at night, the Judaics is not compromised and the Jewish life is not compromised. When we go to other schools and we're wearing our Yeshiva University Maccabees sweatshirt and we're playing for Yeshiva University, it feels amazing to know that we're representing this school. I can thrive academically, I can thrive in my Judaic life, and I can also be on the teams, and I can also be involved in the athletic life. You can do it all here at Yeshiva University.
Amazing, amazing.
And we're back after a thrilling fourth overtime battle. We're here with Eitan Pfeiffer, one of the stars of the game. Take me back into those winding down moments right there. What's going through your head as the clock's winding down in this thrilling battle?
Went through a lot. We fought hard, and it's good to finally win. So getting that W feels good. Now I go to the locker room and celebrate, honestly. I feel like I won the ship.
We're joined, we have 4 players here as the enthusiasm is carrying over.
Well, it makes total sense to have 4 players here because there's a total team effort over here.
That's right. All in. We're all in.
We're all in. They're all in. They're psyched. They're ready to go.
Let's go.
Quick question for Hootie. Take me back to some of those free throws. You found yourself in many big opportunities out there. What was going through your head as you're the guy in that moment?
You gotta break this. I hope they don't break this. You just gotta focus, relax, just calm down. Nothing else in your mind, just hit those shots. And give it a ton of them. Crazy game. That's a nice poster out there.
You heard it here. Enthusiasm from all these players.
water all over the place, smiles all over the place. Congratulations to you guys.
Thank you.
Tier 3 finals tomorrow. Best of luck.
Good luck, guys. Good luck.
Thank you, everybody from Max Live, for putting this thrilling game together. Unbelievable production. I'm Andy Rosenberg signing off with my color commentator, Yoni Shedlow. We'll be right back. Tier 1 semis. Valley Torah, Maga David. Stay tuned.
My name is Malsha Schaller. I am studying English literature and I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I decided to come to IU because I wanted to find a place that catered to both sides of me, both the side of me that is religious and the side of me that wants a secular education. I wanted